this year by about 1.5 million boxes. Proceeds from cookie sales support Scout activities and scholarships. If you'd like to buy some cookies, you have until the end of this month to order. The website is there at the bottom of your screen, showmethecookies.com.
All right, wish those girls good luck.
There was a pleasant conversation between them. However, Andre says he wants the officers involved held accountable.
I'm not Walter White from Breaking Bad.
In an interview with TMZ, the 38-year-old actor says two plainclothes police officers asked him if he was transporting methamphetamines. The stand-up comic says he was the only person detained for a random search as he was attempting to board his flight.
I'm filming in Charleston, and I'm connecting in Atlanta to go home. And they were like, can we search your bag? And I was like, no. Okay, you can't. That's against the Constitution.
Immediately after Wednesday's encounter, Andre took to Twitter to address the issue. In a series of tweets, he said he was racially profiled, harassed, his rights were violated, and that he was the only person of color in line at the time.
Did an apology do it for you? Yeah, or like reprimand the police that are clearly racially profiled.
In a Thursday afternoon news conference, Clayton County Police said Andre was not racially profiled and agreed to talk with police. They tell us this type of interaction happens often as part of their officers' duties.
Mr. Andre did give our officers consent to search his belongings, but instead, the officers chose not to do so.
Police said the encounter only lasted about 2 to 3 minutes.
Mr. Andre was cordial, personable, and pleasant to speak with. According to our records, this was the first and only interaction.
But the actor claims that statement is full of misinformation and he wouldn't allow officers to search his bags.
I said no because I know my rights.
It would increase the penalty for blocking a street and would provide immunity for somebody who hits or kills another person with a car while fleeing from a riot.
We see that they are not only trying to silence people utilizing their freedom of speech, they're also trying to criminalize people just for being who they are.
Critics call that bill unconstitutional. In Minneapolis, Minnesota, activists who've taken up the George Floyd Square say they'll not leave the area until officials agree to 24 demands.
The square is also known as an autonomous zone. The group of protesters posted on social media their list of 24 demands. Some include recalling the Hennepin County attorney, firing employees of the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and establishing an Office of Independent Investigation and Prosecution for Minneapolis law enforcement. Also in Minneapolis tonight, an emotional funeral for 20-year-old.
1 o'clock. Witnesses say the woman's final moments were heartbreaking.
A person had possibly jumped.
Search teams weren't able to use the trails to reach the woman.
Once we arrived trying to determine where the victim was, we were able to see with binoculars a red bag of some sort, probably about 300 feet below a ledge. And then we utilized a drone from the Habersham County Sheriff's Department to go down and did determine that there was a victim at the bottom.
The woman was dead by the time crews rappelled down to her. This is video from Sky Fox 5 that shows the intricate recovery effort. Normally, victims can be airlifted after a fall, but the weather likely prevented that approach.
They were unable to respond. I'm assuming that was due to the windy conditions. So what we did was use high lines to bring her out, which is manually with personnel and ropes over the ledge.
Instead, crews made a pulley and spent hours lifting her from the gorge.
We don't know the circumstances. We know what was reported to happen, but just our thoughts and prayers go to the family and loved ones of this individual. Just going to be receiving some bad news today, and our thoughts and prayers with her.
Investigators say the fall does not seem suspicious. Reporting in Habersham County.
Shot. The deputy's bulletproof vest stops the bullet, but inside the vest, a thin piece of plastic that can relay crucial information in seconds.
A bullet, a knife, shrapnel, anything that tears or pierces that piece of plastic is detected, and we automatically send out a call for help.
With the automatic injury detection, cell phones and command centers are immediately notified. The name of the officer, where on the body they're wounded, their precise location.
So any new devices, new technology come out, I'm definitely want to look into it to make sure.
A remarkable order that is more than bold. It demands the immediate effort to house and and offer housing to every person in Skid Row.
Skid Row is an area of approximately 50 blocks just east of downtown Los Angeles. It has one of the largest homeless populations in the country.
More affordable housing is available to Atlanta residents.
Girl goes over here trying to fight us, trying to stab us, trying to put her hands on our grandma. Get here now.
The body camera video shows officers arriving to a commotion in the driveway when Brian started swinging what appears to be a knife at another girl who falls down. Brian then charges another woman at the scene, putting her against a car and raising her hand with a knife in it.
Get down! Get down!
Bryant fell to the ground. A black-handled knife similar to a kitchen knife was on the ground near her. She was taken to a local hospital where she was pronounced dead. An independent investigation
on their stimulus check.
Lawmakers hope to speed up processing the thousands of unaccompanied minors and other migrants coming into the U.S. illegally.
Crews spend hours
forcing them to watch from the sidelines as Congress votes on federal and D.C. laws.
The legislation aims to transition most of D.C. into the 51st state to be called Washington Douglas Commonwealth. It's named for abolitionist Frederick Douglass. A new state would also mean representation for its citizens, 1 House member and 2 senators. Democrats say it's a move to give D.C.'s more than 700,000 residents a voice, but Republicans suspect something else.
Make no mistake, H.R. 51 is just Democrats' latest attempt for a power grab. While Democrats are trying to control the lives of the American people by force, Republicans are working on showing that we have the right policies to effectively govern.
Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr is leading a national coalition to block the move. In a statement, he says, quote, "This coalition has one simple goal, to uphold the U.S. Constitution."
Whenever a new state is admitted, that dilutes the voting power of every existing state.
President Biden supports the measure.
President Biden strongly supports D.C. statehood. Our administration will work with Congress to get it passed.
If the bill passes,
questions about APD policy and other controversies.
Several police officers that expressed to me that they just feel like quitting. But they're not, because they're dedicated and they want to do a good job.
This retired police investigator knows the weight of low morale that comes from loads of skepticism about police actions. A member of Atlanta City Council is not as close, but Howard Shook has seen the out-the-door numbers in APD.
Investing in public safety, particularly in a way that's going to slow and hopefully stop this attrition, I thought was job number one.
A step in that direction is getting his colleagues on the council to approve a police retention bonus up from $1,200 to $2,500 for young and mid-range career officers.
I would have loved to have done more. I felt obligated to work, within the constraints of a very tough down economy that we're in, and knowing that the upcoming budget is going to be very problematic and we'll be spending out of our reserves.
Right now, for Atlanta police officers, Velasquez says the mayor and the council, they have taken pay off the table as a reason police officers should want to leave.
I think officers are happy with the pay and benefits. So now let's take their focus off of that. Let's take the focus and move the focus more on how do we keep them and keep them properly trained, keep them motivated, and keep them engaged with the citizens and understanding what's going on nationwide.
For the APD, well, their pay and benefits, they're competitive across the state. For example, a sergeant can top out at $92,000 per year. A lieutenant can make just over $100,000. From Northeast Atlanta, I'm Morse Diggs, Fox 5 News.